Good morning, children. In the previous class, we discussed about the Rowlatt Act, how the nationwide strike was called by Mahatma Gandhi against the Rowlatt Act. We also read about the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Now, the country was in anger because of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, which was done by General Dyer. So, that was a movement which united the country, and that Jallianwala Bagh incident triggered a spark of anger in the mind of the Indian people, and that was the opportunity which was grabbed by Mahatma Gandhi to unite the people of India and to move them or to mobilize them against the British government. And he started a movement after that, and that movement is called as the non-cooperation movement. So today we will discuss about the non-cooperation movement. So this is all about the non-cooperation movement. Gandhiji believed that the Britishers were able to set up their rule in India only with the help of the Indian people. Because Indian people cooperated with them, as a result they were able to rule India. If the people of India would stop helping the Britishers, if they would stop their cooperation with the Britishers, surely their rule would be collapsed. So this was thought by Mahatma Gandhi. As a result, he tried to persuade the people to start a movement, and this movement is about the non-cooperation, that now henceforth we will not cooperate with the British government because it has become totally brutal against the Indian people. So with this vision they started the movement that is called non-cooperation movement. So before the starting of non-cooperation movement, there were some factors which were responsible for the non-cooperation movement, and that led to the movement that is the first nationalist movement started by Mahatma Gandhi, that is non-cooperation movement. It was conducted nationwide. So we will discuss about those factors. So factors leading to the non-cooperation movement. The first factor is that the First World War that continued from 1914 to 1918 and laws introduced by the British. So this was a period when British sought the Indian cooperation against the Axis power in the wartime, and Indian helped them a lot. They were on the side of the British people, and British became victorious. Britain became victorious in that war. So Indian people were expecting that now they will be given some privileges because they are on the victorious side. They would also be given some relaxation. They would also be given some sort of rights in India, but this did not happen. So what they got Rowlatt Act, which was just to suppress the nationalist leader in India, and it was a black law which was passed by the imperial legislature of British India. So people turned against the Britishers. Second is introduction of Rowlatt Act, which permitted detention without trial for 2 years, that we have already discussed. Then a campaign against Rowlatt Act was started throughout the India, that we have already discussed, and Jallianwala Bagh incident took place during this protest. Gandhiji detained while proceeding to Punjab. So when he was going to the Punjab, where the protest was intense, he was arrested and he was put behind the bar. So that also led to the anger in the mind of the people. And prominent local congressmen were also arrested along with Mahatma Gandhi. Then Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place, and then the Rowlatt Satyagraha was the first satyagraha which was conducted by Mahatma Gandhi, and it was having a mass appeal among the Indian masses. As a result, he was encouraged by the Rowlatt Act, and he wanted to start a more radical movement, a bigger movement which could unite all the Indian people, and all the Indian people may join that movement. So that kind of movement he wanted to start, and that movement was the non-cooperation movement. This movement is also known as non-cooperation Khilafat movement. So there were two movements, non-cooperation and Khilafat. So non-cooperation and Khilafat, these were the two movements which were joined together. So what was the Khilafat movement? As its name indicates, it's a Persian word, and Khilafat word has come from the Khalifa, and Khalifa was the highest spiritual guru of Islam. So there was the Khalifa in Turkey, but after the First World War, the Turkey got a defeat. As a result, the existing Khalifa of Turkey was removed from his power and Kemal Atatürk was made the head of Turkey. So this led to the anger in the mind of the Muslim people, and Muslim people turned against the Britishers. So they wanted to start a movement throughout the world, and that movement was called as the Khilafat movement. So in India there were two brothers and their name was Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. So they were called by Mahatma Gandhi, and this was an opportunity for Mahatma Gandhi also, because he wanted to start the non-cooperation movement and he also wanted to unite Hindu and Muslim. As a result, he joined the non-cooperation movement with the Khilafat movement because they wanted to start the Khilafat movement. They were from Bombay. So they also met Mahatma Gandhi and they agreed that both Hindu and Muslim will start a movement, and that movement will be called as the non-cooperation Khilafat movement. So this was an opportunity to unite both Hindu and Muslim. So on the issue of Khilafat, Muslim community also joined non-cooperation movement. Khilafat movement that continued from 1919 to 1924 was a significant movement of the 1924 was a significant Islamic movement organized by the Ali brothers, and their names were Muhammad Ali and the Shaukat Ali. And this was an attempt by the Indian Muslim community to unite together in support of the Turkish Empire ruled by the Khalifa, that is Ottoman Sultan, which was attacked by the European power. So Muslims were already dissatisfied with the Britishers. So that opportunity was grabbed by Mahatma Gandhi to bring the Muslim people also in the mainstream of non-cooperation movement, and both communities now joined against the Britishers. And this happened first time after 1857. Now non-cooperation movement, Gandhiji decided to couple the Khilafat issue with the non-cooperation. He wanted to bring Hindu and Muslim collectively and against the colonial rule during non-cooperation movement. Then what were the main events of the non-cooperation movement? What was the course of the non-cooperation movement? That we will discuss. So here you can see the images, that is Khilafat and non-cooperation movement. Students stopped going to the school and colleges run by the British government. At that time, maximum institutions were of the British people, British government. So students of India stopped going to their school, and that was a way to show the protest against the Britishers. Then lawyers refused to attend the law court. That was another course of the non-cooperation movement. Then the working class went on strike in many towns and the cities, and they were also not cooperating with the British government. Hill tribes in northern Andhra Pradesh violated the forest laws. So British government passed some forest laws, and under those laws the tribal people were not given the rights to collect the wood, and they cannot graze the animals in the forest areas where they used to live from the times immemorial. So the tribal people thought that this is an unnecessary interference by the government in their daily affairs. So they were already dissatisfied with the British rule, because British started scientific forestry at that time also. So there was a leader in Andhra Pradesh, and his name was Alluri Sitaram Raju. So he conducted a violent movement against the Britishers, and he said that he was doing this in the name of Mahatma Gandhi. Though Mahatma Gandhi was against the violent kind of things, he believed in the non-violence, but still Alluri Sitaram Raju justifying his act that he is acting according to the instruction which is given by Mahatma Gandhi. So it was a radical movement in the tribal areas, that is the Gudam hills of Andhra Pradesh. During this movement, farmers refused to give the revenue to the British government, and apart from that, the common man started boycotting the British goods, especially the British made clothes were boycotted by the Indian people, and they were burnt in huge bonfire. So here this is the image where such kind of clothes were burned by the Indian people in the huge bonfire. So this non-cooperation movement, which was started in 1920s, so this is an image of 1922 where the clothes were being collected and they were burnt in the bonfire. The liquor shops were picketed by the women of India. So these were the courses which were there during the non-cooperation movement, and it was a mass movement where every section of Indian society participated in this movement. So this is all about the non-cooperation movement and its course. Gandhiji wanted to conduct this movement non-violently because he believed in Satya and Ahimsa. So this was not a non-violent movement, moreover, because there were some happenings which was having a lot of violence. One that we have already discussed, that is about the movement which was started by the people of Andhra Pradesh against the forest laws. That was the tribal community. So they used the violent methods to fulfill their demand. Apart from that, Gandhiji taught the people of self-discipline, renunciation, self-denial, ahimsa, that is non-violence, and satyagraha. And the aim of the movement was the self-rule. So they wanted to have an autonomous rule. They wanted a self-rule, that Indian people should be ruled by the Indian people only. And by following these principles of Mahatma Gandhi, we can attain the freedom. But what happened? Did it was really followed or not? That we will discuss. The movement shook the foundation of the British rule in India. So after 1857, the British experienced a very hard time during the non-cooperation movement, and it was the movement which had shaken the ground of the British government. In February 1922, a group of peasants attacked and fired a police station at Chori Chora in UP. Several policemen were killed. So in February 1922, the angry peasant mob attacked the Chori Chora police station, which is near Gorakhpur, and 24 policemen were burnt alive in that police chowki because it was set on fire by a crowd. So Mahatma Gandhi felt very bad because of this act, and he wanted that the movement should continue through the non-violent ways, and he was against this kind of violence, and he said that no act of the nationalist leader or the people of India could be justified which is violent, where the people were killed who were unarmed and who were totally at the mercy of the mob. So Mahatma Gandhi felt very bad, and after the Chori Chora incident, the movement was called off by Mahatma Gandhi. Now this was the movement, and this movement gave a very tough time to the Britishers, and British government felt that they could not be able to rule anymore in India. But the movement was stopped by Mahatma Gandhi after the Chori Chora incident. As a result, the movement was not successful in achieving its aim. So what happened by the end of this movement? This movement continued for a long period, that is about 2 years. But there were some limitations of this movement, and what were the limitations that we will discuss. First of all, the Indian students stopped going to the school of the Britishers. But at that time, there were very less number of Indian institutions were available where the students go and attend their school and colleges. As a result, finally they started going to the schools. This was a movement which was more successful in the urban areas. In rural areas, this movement was not having that much success which should be there. So these were some limitations, but still this movement was a successful movement, though it was not successful in achieving its aim. But still the British faced a very tough time during this movement after 1857. British Raj was shaken to its foundation for the first time since the revolt of 1857 that we discussed. Thousands of Indian and Gandhiji himself was arrested in March 1922 and charged with sedition. So after this movement, many Indian leaders, thousands in numbers, were arrested and they were put in the prison. Mahatma Gandhi was also arrested and he was charged with the charge of sedition, means उन पे देशद्रोह का मुकदमा भी चलाया गया था, and he was also put in the jail, and his case was in the court. So we will discuss again. Since Gandhiji had violated the law, it was obligatory for the bench to sentence him 6 years imprisonment. So Gandhiji was given the 6 years imprisonment in the court, but the judge who was hearing his case, and his name was the C.N. Broomfield. Justice C.N. Broomfield, who was presiding over the trial of Mahatma Gandhi, remarked that you are a different category of person. The people whom I have tried so far, they were totally different from you. For your own people, like for the people of India, you are a great leader, you are a great patriot, but according to the law of the British rule, you are a criminal. So it's his compulsion to give him the imprisonment of 6 years. But still, if the government releases him before the period of 6 years, then he would be pleased more than anybody else. So this is in itself is a testimony that what kind of personality was Mahatma Gandhi having. After this non-cooperation movement, Gandhiji became the people's leader. How he became more popular among the common people, that we will discuss here. Gandhiji had transformed the nationalist movement into a mass movement that was more properly representative of the Indian masses. Earlier there used to be movements which was started before this movement. Mainly those movements and those activities were the elite driven activities, like we discussed the opening of Banaras Hindu University. So all the elite and aristocratic people were present there, common people were not present. But the movement which was started by Mahatma Gandhi, that is the non-cooperation movement, in this movement every section of the society took an active part. So it was truly a mass movement where the common man participated in the movement. The people appreciated the fact that he dressed like them. Now Mahatma Gandhi, you can see from the image, he was able to identify himself along with the common man, because he used to look simply like a common man. Because of his simple lifestyle, you can see that he was just wearing the loin cloth like the poor common man of India. So the common people believed that he is one among them. So he was able to associate himself with the common man. As a result, whenever he used to say something, it was having a mass appeal in the common public. Then he also used the language which was generally used by the common man. Like there used to be some nationalist leader at that time, but they were speaking either English or they used to speak the language which was not easily understandable by the common man. But he used to speak to the common man in their own languages. He used to dress like them, and this was strikingly reflected in his dress, while other nationalist leaders dressed formally wearing a western suit or Indian bandgala. If we compare the dressing style of Jawaharlal Nehru with Mahatma Gandhi, we can clearly distinguish the two dresses. He was wearing a western suit as well as the bandgala, and most of the leaders of that time used to wear the bandgala. So that was a dress which was generally worn by the aristocratic people of that time. But Mahatma Gandhi did not used to wear that kind of dress. He used to wear the simple loincloth and simple dress which was generally worn at that time by the common people. So he was associating himself with the common people, and this was a symbol which was used by him deliberately. Though he was also from a merchant family, he was also a great lawyer, but still he used to live like the common man. And he also used charkha. He used to spend a part of his day while spinning on the charkha, so that he can emphasize the manual labor than the mental labor. Meanwhile, he spent part of his day working on the charkha, that is the spinning wheel, and encouraged other nationalists to do likewise. So this was also a shrewd symbol which was used by Mahatma Gandhi. You can see here he is doing work on a charkha, because the common man used to do the physical labor. They were not doing the mental labor. So in this way he wanted to give respect to the physical labor which was associated with the common man. So that common man becomes follower of Mahatma Gandhi. The act of spinning allowed Gandhiji to break the boundaries of that prevailed with the traditional caste system between mental labor and the manual labor, and he was a great advocate of manual labor also. So to give respect to the manual labor, he used to spin charkha. Gandhiji's appeal among poor and peasant in particular was enhanced by his ascetic lifestyle and his shrewd use of symbols such as the dhoti and the charkha. Gandhi is appreciated not just to look like them but also understand them and related to their lives and work for them and the nation together. So he was having a great empathy for the common people. He could easily understand their problem and he used to work for the emancipation of the common man. As a result, common man started feeling attached with Mahatma Gandhi, and in this way he was having a mass appeal among the common people. Now, apart from these works by Mahatma Gandhi, and because he was a nationalist leader, so people started liking him. But there were some other things which also compelled the people to follow Mahatma Gandhi, and these were the rumors which spread during that time about Mahatma Gandhi. So here we will discuss about the rumors of Gandhiji's miraculous power. People started believing that he is having a miraculous power, magical power, and as a result people started believing in the power of Mahatma Gandhi. There were some rumors of Mahatma Gandhi's miraculous power. In some places it was said that he had been sent by the king to redress the grievances of the farmer. People were having the rumor among themselves that Mahatma Gandhi is sent to India by the king and he was sent here to redress the grievances of the common man, to help the common people, to work for the welfare of the common man. As a result, he is having a great power in his hand. Secondly, some people started believing that he is beyond the king, he is above the king, so he can do whatever he likes. As a result, people started following him, that he will do something for them. It was also claimed that Gandhi's power was superior to that of the English monarch, and with his arrival, colonial ruler would flee the district, that he is having greater power than the British king. As a result, the Britishers who were ruling in their area, they would leave their area after arrival of Mahatma Gandhi. So that was also a rumor spread at that time. Stories spread dire consequences for those who opposed him. That was also a fear in the mind of the people, and there was also a rumor that whosoever would oppose Mahatma Gandhi, he would face the dire consequences in his life. And there were many rumors that so and so farmer said that he criticized Mahatma Gandhi. Next day his house was shattered, it was destroyed by the nature. One person said that कि मेरे जो खेत हैं जिसमें सरसों लगा रखी है इसमें जो है सीसम की क्रॉप हो जानी चाहिए. And next day when he went in the morning, he found that his mustard crops were converted into the sesamum crop. So these kind of rumors were spread in the areas of India, in different areas of India, mainly northern India, about the miraculous power of Mahatma Gandhi. Those who criticized Gandhi found their houses mysteriously falling and apart from their crops failing. So those who would commit the sin of criticizing Mahatma Gandhi, they would face the dire consequences. As a result, people did not use to criticize Gandhi's action. So that was also a reason why Gandhiji was so popular. So Gandhiji appeared to the Indian peasants as their savior, who could rescue them from high taxes and oppressive officials and restore dignity and autonomy for their lives. So this was the belief which made Gandhiji more popular among the common people. Now we will discuss the base of the nationalist movement under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, how the nationalist movement became a wide movement throughout the India, how the base of the Congress was broadened under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, that we will discuss here. The base of the nationalist movement broadened under Gandhiji. He brought changes in the Congress organization. New branches of the Congress were set up in various parts of India. So Gandhiji's popularity also resulted in the spread of Congress in different parts of India. And there were many branches of Congress were set up in different parts of India, and these were called as the Praja Mandals, which used to work for the grievances of the common people. And it was not based on the territory which was marked by the Britishers, rather it was based on the languages. So different linguistic group was having a different kind of Praja Mandal, and that was a branch of Congress. Praja Mandal was established to promote nationalism in the princely states also. So in princely states, the branches were called as the Praja Mandal, and that was set up in these states to promote the nationalist feeling among the people. And branches of Congress were also set up in the provincial states as well, and they were set up on the basis of the languages, not on the basis of the territory which was marked by the Britishers. The provincial committee of the Congress were based on linguistic divisions that I discussed, rather than on the artificial boundary that was set up by the British administration. Gandhiji advocated the spreading of the nationalist message in the mother tongue rather than the English language of that time, which was generally spoken by the nationalist leader of that time. So he used to communicate with the people in their local language, in the mother tongue, and that's why he was easily understandable by the people, and he was able to convey his messages clearly to the public, and he was able to mobilize the public because of the use of the mother tongue. So these were the qualities of Mahatma Gandhi which made him a popular leader or a nationalist leader. So this was the movement which made Mahatma Gandhi very popular among the people. Apart from that, many other people were also joined by Mahatma Gandhi, and they also associated themselves with the Mahatma Gandhi. Among these people, common peoples were there. Apart from the industrialist was also there. So we will discuss about that. Prosperous businessmen and industrialists were quickly to recognize that the free India is in the favor of these people, and because they will be not having the British competitor. So Mahatma Gandhi was joined by the industrialists of India at that time, and they recognized that it was due to the effort of Mahatma Gandhi India could be freed. And free India was having a better perspective for these businessmen, because these businessmen were doing business, or they were having industries in India, but they were getting stiff competition from the Britishers. And secondly, the British India, or the rule of the Britishers, were also not in the favor of the Indian industrialists. So they could not do business freely. But if India would become free, now there would not be any competitor for these businessmen, and they could expand their business according to their wish. That's why they supported Mahatma Gandhi. They supported Mahatma Gandhi financially as well as physically, and they gave a lot of donation to the Congress so that the movement could be continued. So they wasted no time and joined the Congress as Indian entrepreneurs. For example, G.D. Birla. So among those industrialists one was the G.D. Birla, who supported the nationalist movement openly. So there were some other people who also joined Mahatma Gandhi at that time, and as a result Mahatma Gandhi grew stronger because of their joining the Congress. And these leaders were very talented people like Sardar Patel, who was from Gujarat, who later on also conducted a satyagraha, that is Bardoli Satyagraha. Apart from that, Chittaranjan Das and Subhash Chandra Bose, Jawaharlal Nehru. So these were the J.B. Kriplani, G.B. Pant. So these were the people who were very talented people, highly esteemed people, and they also joined Mahatma Gandhi, because Mahatma Gandhi now became quite popular and he was having a mass appeal. So he also got support from these people, and after getting the support from these talented people, now Congress also became very strong party. Gandhiji was seen as the Mahatma, and he had a huge following from the sections of the people all over India. Now the people of India used to call him Gandhi Baba, Mahatma, or simply they used to call him Gandhiji. And he was having a mass appeal in the Indian people, and he won a great followership from the Indian people. So he became a people's leader after non-cooperation movement. Now, as we discussed that Gandhiji was arrested after the non-cooperation movement, and he was sentenced 6 years imprisonment, but because of his good conduct he was freed much earlier, and he was freed from the prison in 1924, so just after the 2 years. Now he chose to devote his attention to the promotion of homespun cloth, that is khadi, and the abolition of untouchability. Now he did not took part in any kind of movement after that for some years together, because he believed that some time should be given to the Indian public and they should be trained properly during this time, so that a movement could be organized after some time, because there was a lot of violence during the time of the non-cooperation movement. But he wanted some time where the people could be trained before starting of a movement, so that there should be no violence in that movement. As a result, this was a time which was utilized by Gandhiji for some other works, and he acted during this time as a social reformer. He wanted to eradicate the evil which was prevailing in the society of India. So he worked for the upliftment of khadi, and khadi was also a symbol of self-reliance. He wanted that the Britishers' clothes are one of the things which is draining the money of India towards the Britain, and Indians are becoming dependent on the British cloth. So he wanted to make India independent in economic term also. As a result, he started promoting the khadi. By supporting the khadi, he believed that the India will become self-reliant. Secondly, he also worked against the untouchability, which is an evil in Hindu society, on the basis of the caste system. So there was a mass section of the people in Indian society who were called as the untouchables. So Mahatma Gandhi was working for the emancipation of these untouchable people, and he used to work which was generally done by these untouchables, and he called them the Harijans, the son of the god, so that respect could be given to this section of the society. And Gandhiji believed that unless and until these people would be united to the mainstream, no movement could be successful, and India would not be successful for next 100 years if these untouchables or these lower class people would not unite with the other Indians against the Britishers. Gandhiji was much a social reformer, as he was a politician. He took steps to remove social evils such as the child marriage. He was also against the child marriage and untouchability. He gave emphasis on Hindu-Muslim harmony also. Meanwhile, on the economic front, Indians had to learn to become self-reliant. Hence, he stressed the significance of the wearing khadi rather than the mill-made cloth which was imported from the overseas or the British factories. So these were the two works which were done by Mahatma Gandhi during this period before the starting of a new movement, and that movement was the Salt Satyagraha or civil disobedience movement. So during this time he did a lot for the emancipation of the lower class people or the untouchables, and he also started a newspaper or a magazine later on. That magazine is Harijan. So that was also started for the untouchables, and he wanted to give respect to the untouchable class of people. As a result, he also used to work like a bhangi, like a sweeper, and so that he can give respect to their work also. So this was the social reform which was done by Mahatma Gandhi during this time.